Hello, beauty. Welcome to video 2 of finding power in your feelings. So if you haven't watched the first video yet, you may want to go ahead and do that first. You don't have to. Whatever you feel guided to do. Trust yourself and your wisdom. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit more about, this process of deepening into your feeling. And then we're going to go into a energy experience where I'll hold space for you to deepen into your feelings. So one of the things that I mentioned in the first video, which feels important to mention here too, is we have all of these stories, these patterns, these protections, these programs around what it means when we're feeling something, and also just simply allowing ourselves to fully have the experience of what we're feeling. And, sometimes what we're feeling isn't even our energy, often it's not, so it could be we're feeling an emotion that is maybe collective. It could be we're feeling an emotion that is someone else's that they're not feeling. It could be just sensations, just energy. Emotions are energy in motion. And when I say feelings, are sensations. So like this shirt touching my skin, that is also a feeling. We don't have to make up a story about that. There's no right or wrong to how it actually feels on my skin. If it's itchy, then it's okay. It's okay if I don't enjoy it, And there's a point where it's like, oh, actually, I like feeling this. I do enjoy it. It's soft, right? It's kind of lush on my skin. It feels good. And when we really can hone in to the center of our feelings, our experience of feeling, right? Whether it's feeling sensations or feeling emotions, there is this natural joy in simply feeling. It's very sensual. And, it's one of the ways expanding our capacity to feel is one of the ways that we open to our feminine, and also we open to life. In feeling, there are these encoded messages. So it's sort of like water, right? Water holds all of these memories, these ancient codes. And so do feelings. Feeling is an emotional, watery energy. And so it's encoded. It's encoded with memories, with remembering. And so when we let ourselves go to that space, we're really opening ourselves to knowledge, to power, to truth. And let me see if there's anything else I want to say about that. Yeah, I invite you just to take a breath. Also, connection. It's one of the things that makes us human. It connects us to all of life, connects us to each other. So if you desire more intimacy, more connection, deeper connections, whether that's in your business, your relationships, just in life. If you want to have experiences where you're actually feeling connected, this is the portal. And I shared on my Facebook post this morning, you know, I used to be the person that I could feel the joy and I could feel love, right? I could feel it outside of me. And if I like did the mindset stuff, then I actually could get to where I felt some of it in my body. But I'm really at this place of where I feel this like so deep in me delight, just simply going on walks and looking at the sky. And it's like I feel so delighted by the life, right? So, it's feeling is the way that we open that portal for connection, for embodiment, coming into our bodies in all the ways. So good. So, how do we do this? It's such a simple, right? And yet complicated, profound thing because we have so many layers of patterns and protections and slipping out. I was noticing some slipping out of it this morning. So it really starts with staying present with what is in this moment. And, sometimes I know for myself, I have this way of sometimes wanting to go to the thing and feel the thing, right? So like I've been having this burning in the back of my heart, and the old part of me would have wanted to just go to it and like figure it out and like feel it. And the thing is, when we're doing that with our mind, we're not actually feeling, you know? And so again, this way of feeling is like, it's more about like the sensations. So it's not, there's this way that our mind connects feeling to emotion. And when I'm saying feeling, this is like a sensational experience. And yes, it can be an emotional experience. However, again, emotions are just energy in motion. It's just energy that's wanting to move through. So, staying present with what is, that's really the first step, like learning to really get present. Get present to what is and what is current in this moment. As soon as we go into like the past or the future, that's whenever we start to get more emotionally entangled. And the stories, right? So once we really feel what's present, we can like drop into it and like kind of get into it as if it is its own space. So one of the ways that I like to do that is just kind of like taking a couple of breaths and noticing like, okay, so what is present right now? What am I feeling, right? What is my body feeling? And then just noticing like, what are the actual qualities of that? So our mind may want to make up a story. But if we just get curious as though it's something that we're experiencing for the first time, so if it's hot, okay, what does that actually, like, as if you were going to go and like get closer to touch it, like, what does that feel like? What is the qualities of the warmth, right? Does it feel like a burning, like a like a raging burning, or does it feel like a warm, like a warm fire that you might want to go snuggle up by, you know? Does it feel like a forest fire where it's like flickering? So just noticing the qualities, just getting super curious about what are the qualities. And again, I'm going to bring you through an experience. I'm just kind of giving your mind some understanding. And so then even once you start to notice the qualities, right, you can like deepen into that. So like then feeling yourself in relationship to the actual feeling. So it's like, okay, I see these flickering flames. How do I actually feel about that? How am I feeling in my body? How am I feeling? Am I feeling like, or is it like, ooh, curious? What is this? I want to touch it. I want to experience it, right? So noticing. None of it's right or wrong, but this is how we start to play with our feelings. And you can see, right, the actual feeling is also teaching you. It's teaching you just by you staying present with it. This is the wisdom. I love this work so much, so much. It's a delight to share some of this with you. So, and then in this, right, we can notice the ways that our system wants to collapse. So what I mean by that is sometimes we want to go into victim mode where it just feels like, ugh, and we want to just like simply collapse. Maybe the stories start to come forward and it's like this story wants to take over, and we want it to mean something. So we can notice that when that happens. So like I said, in the first video, I was sharing some of my experience with when I started to have these knowings that I'm an emotional healer, right? I am I help people with their feelings. But I was scared of that, right? I had all these stories around it. I thought that it meant that like I'm going into this emotional work, and now I'm seeing more and more it's like feelings. Yes, sometimes it's emotions, and it's like sensations, sensual, honing in, attuning, fine tuning, all of these things. And so we have to let go of the story and not collapse into the story to really hone in on like what's actually true here. What is actually here versus what my mind thinks is going to happen, or thinks. So, yeah, we don't want to become the victim to it. And if we do, it's okay. We can just notice, right? We can just notice what's happening and let ourselves have that experience, and like fully be in the feeling experience of that, right? So like I mentioned this morning, I noticed this way that I was slipping out. Well, whenever I just sort of focused on that, I honed in on, oh, I'm slipping out. And then it actually brought me deeper into myself. Just getting curious with that. So if you do notice yourself collapsing, you can just turn towards the collapsing and let yourself fully feel like, okay, what does it feel like to collapse? What is it feeling like in my body? What is that experience? Can I let myself fully be in that experience of collapsing? And we can also do this with like armor, right? So sometimes we start to armor up. We start to want to protect ourselves. And if you notice that happening as you're starting to explore, you can do the same thing. You can just simply, okay, what does it feel like when I'm armoring? What does it feel like when I'm protecting? And so we don't have to make a story up about it. We can just go into it. We can just be it, right? And it's like in the fully being in that energy can actually wiggle out. It can move through us. And so, yeah. And so what we're desiring to do in whatever feeling it is, so whether it's this sensation that's moving like the fire, or maybe it's the collapse, or maybe it's the protection, we want to find the center. Letting ourselves fall into it, fall into it, fall into it, fall into it. And then what will eventually happen is you get into this place of the center, the void. And when you get to that void, it can be a whole different experience, a whole different level of maybe fear comes up, or am I going to be in this forever? Like, how am I going to get out of it? And, we can do this in practice, and then we can also do this in real life. I've been having this experience, like I said, with my business. This is my sweet Leo, my heart shaman. Tell him hi. It's almost food time, so he is hungry and grouchy. But he's also my lover. You can see how sweet this little boy is. Okay, so yeah, we want to find that center, the void, and in that there can be this whole other experience. The void can be scary, right? Because it can feel like, oh my God, am I going to ever get out? What's going to happen here? What is this? And what I want to invite you to do is to do the same thing, right? So rather than feeling like you're in this space of, oh my God, what is this? Let's just get curious. Like, okay, what does this feel like? And you might notice yourself, right? So notice like how you're feeling in your body, and then try to really just feel into the spaciousness of the actual void. So you might feel how you feel about the void, but then just feel the void. So like, okay, what is this space around me? This void, what does it actually feel like? Is it cool? Is it hot? If it's black, what are the qualities of that? Is there noise? Is there stillness? Like, what's actually here? So you just want to let yourself, have this experience of these feelings, these sensations. And again, we're just noticing, we're staying present, we're just seeing. I have no idea what this is, where it's going, letting yourself fall into it. So, yeah. This is how we begin to reclaim our power in feeling, and also find our power in feeling. So, yes, I want to bring you through an experience. So if you need to pause your video here, you can come back when you're ready. If you are ready, let's go ahead and drop in. So I invite you just to take a few deep breaths. Noticing how you're feeling. noticing your thoughts, noticing your body, your physical body. And so, for the purpose of this energy experience, you can choose two different things. So, if there's something that is actively present for you right now in this moment, you can use that as a portal for this exploration. Or if there's something that you know that you have been maybe avoiding, or you've kind of felt it, maybe you've been a little afraid of it, to feel it, or you just haven't had the space, and it's been kind of calling you, you can use that as well. So, yeah, if you have something that's forward, that's been swirling around your space, go ahead and use that as the portal for this exploration. So, just taking a couple breaths, letting that energy come forward. Feeling it in your body. Also noticing how your body's feeling. And if there's any places that feel tight, tense, you can go closer. And with your breath, just see if you can create a little bit more space. Imagine like stretching out the energy. And if you need to, even slowing it down a little bit to where you actually can like imagine like sticking your fingers in it, you know? Just breathing, allowing your body to soften. Noticing how you're feeling in relationship to this feeling. So noticing, are you wanting to collapse? Are you wanting to run away? Are you armoring up what's coming forward for you? Are you curious? Yeah, and letting yourself, letting yourself fully go into whatever is present. And if you notice some fear around that, like how long is this going to last? This video is a container. So you have this container of the video to support you. I am holding space in this moment for you. So just trust that this video, this container, my holding space, right? It's giving you this edge. Just let yourself find your surrender in that. So this isn't an eternal process, right? It might be a few minutes. Just see if you can let yourself relax in a little bit deeper. Just knowing that you are being held, you are being supported. Falling into it, literally just imagining yourself falling into the feeling, the sensation. Letting go, letting yourself go all the way in. You don't need to attach to any of it, so whatever you're noticing, just let it move through. Keep falling into it. Breathing. Feeling your breath as you fall into it. Softening into it. For some of you, what I'm noticing is this feeling of falling with it. So it feels like the feeling is like around you, and then you're just like moving with the energy rather than letting the energy move through you. So if you feel like that's happening, so it almost feels like you're in the current of the feeling versus like the feeling moving through your body. So if you notice this happening for you, just see if you could even like taste one drop of it, where you might dip your finger in and like literally imagine tasting it, letting it in. Or you might even just imagine feeling it on your skin, right? Like letting it seep in through your skin, like feeling it. So you don't even have to let it in, but like just like let yourself sense it. Rubbing it on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of you may notice like a little bit of a desire, a turn on, starting to bubble up and emerge. And so just feel that if that's happening for you. Noticing the pleasure in letting yourself feel. You might even sip in the pleasure, right? Like letting yourself feel it, feeling it with your senses, but also drinking it in, letting it in. Some of us, we have walls up around feeling the good feelings. Maybe we're really good at feeling the grief, the sorrow, but feeling pleasure, feeling joy, ease, that might actually be more challenging. And so, yeah, just be here in it if that's what's present for you. And you can notice your edge. Notice your edge in feeling it. And just let those old stories, those old programs, just let them, that's when I feel like I'm hitting these edges where there's old programming. That's literally how it kind of feels in my system, like a where the old program just like burns off, or unravels. So if you notice that happening, just fall into it, right? Yes, 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 please. Whew. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're hating this, it's okay too, right? Give yourself fully to it. Fully let yourself be in it, right? Like, I hate this. Can you just let yourself fully hate it? Almost to the point of finding the pleasure and hating it. Like, can you find that edge? Mm. Hmm. Just feeling into your body. Notice how you're feeling physically. What I'm really present to is there's a lot of root energy, so I can feel this like kind of like a lava, fiery warmth, like kind of at the base of the root, the legs, the sits bones. You may just invite that to come up, breathing it up into your womb. Letting it move to your heart. So you can stay here as long as you like and delight in this yumminess. And if you desire more, if you desire to go deeper, if you desire to deepen into this work so that you can bring more of you, your embodiment, right? This when we're really embodying our energy, it's not about what exactly we say. It's not about what we actually do. It becomes this field. It becomes this field of your field in itself activates it. Heals. It gives these transmissions. So if you're desiring that and you're desiring to bring more of that into your work, reach out to me. I'll put the link in the comments to schedule a free call and we can talk. And of course, I'd also love to hear your experience of how this landed for you, what your experience was like, what you noticed. You can continue to practice this with your feelings, and really seeing like what is at the depth of it. So I'm sending you so much love.